Yo, what the frick is poppin', ladies and gents, fella and fellaettes of the Pokemon universe? It's the man with the plan, the man that you've got to stand, coming at you guys with some Pokemon Road to Masterball. It's here, man. I am so excited to jump into this. As you guys can see, we have 0 battles, 0 wins, 0 losses, and we starting all the way at the beginner tier. But I'll tell you right now, man, I ain't no beginner whenever it comes to VGC. I watch a ton of videos. I play it on Showdown all the time. I'm ranked probably in around the 1800s on Showdown. So I know what I'm doing here. I don't play it all too much, but I do know what I'm doing. Let's go ahead and look at the team we're going to be using today. It is a rental team, of course. And it is going to be this team right here. We're using a really cool team from a Korean player. I don't remember what their name is, but it's a very, very cool Sun team. I really like this because you can run it a ton of different ways, which I think makes this super, super interesting. You can run it straight up Sun. That's G-Max Charizard with solar power. That thing's going to hit like a truck. You can run it with Trick Room and Torkoal and T-Tar. You can run it a ton of different ways. So I'm a really big fan of this this little thing here. You can run it with Bulldoze Weakness Policy, which I think is just absolutely tremendous. Togekiss is also a great member of the team, but the main usage of this team is going to be with the Sun. With that Torkoal choice, or not choice, Focus Sash, that Charizard coming in, clicking fire moves, that Venusaur. Just that Sun, the Sun is just absolutely amazing with this team. So let's go ahead and without further ado, we're only 2 minutes into this video, and we're finally jumping into the battles, man. I'm very excited to use this team. I think it's going to be a great. I think it's going to be a great time, and I'm very, very excited about it. That's for sure. That is for sure. No, I don't think we're going to use my shiny competitive Orbeetle team. I think we're going to be using my rental team right here. Let's choose this bad boy right on up, man. So we're getting ourselves a random trainer here, man. I'm so excited for this. I played a little bit of singles whenever it first came out, but it just was not my favorite thing in the whole wide world. I didn't lose anything. We're battling against O'Neal rank 1, so I hope that means he's just rank 1 like here. But let's check this opponent's team here. So he's got a very, very weird squad, man. I have a feeling we're going to be running into a lot of these weird squads, but in my opinion, I think Sun just absolutely wrecks this dude. He really has no switch-ins for G-Max Charizard, so that's exactly what I'm going to rock with. I'm going to rock with the Torkoal. I'm going to rock with the Charizard. I think we bring Tyranitar and Venusaur in the back just because those things kind of deal with everything. I'm not really too worried about any mon that my opponent has. I feel like we can predict and pretty much do perfectly fine here against my opponent. I don't feel like this is going to be too hard of a game, but you can never count an opponent out, so there's no reason to count them out. So I'm going to go ahead and lock in because he locked in immediately, so he knew exactly what he was leading. So we're going to go to Turf Field Stadium. As you guys can see, my my card right there on the right, looking pretty snazzy, not going to lie, with the ball guy. Let's see what this dude's got. What's he going to lead with? Dugtrio and Vespiquen. So interesting lead on his part here. I would imagine this is probably to catch the Sun lead, which is perfectly fine, honestly. I'm really not too worried about Dugtrio here. I don't think normal drug trios are going to be running the anything quite crazy. I'm going to go for the Eruption, just straight up, and I'm actually going to switch Charizard out into the Venusaur here because I feel like Venusaur can tank a rock slide if that's coming out from the Dugtrio. And I feel like Eruption is my best play just because it's going to do a lot of damage, and we're definitely going to be able to get it off. So he does go for the rock slide, so that's fine. He actually misses the Torkoal, which is pretty big because that means that our Sash is still intact. As a Destiny Bond comes out, so that's going to just straight up KO Torkoal, I think. But at this point, we can just bring in Charizard again. As actually, that takes down pretty much everybody on my opponent's team. So that's perfectly fine, as now I can just go and Dynamax Charizard, and Venusaur now outspeeds Dugtrio with the Chlorophyll. So I feel like that wasn't too bad of a first turn. I feel like there are some things that we maybe could have done better, but I don't feel like that was too bad of a first turn at all. I'm obviously going to go for the G-Max Hurricane on this turn, as he actually goes Gardevoir, which I don't really know what this thing wants to do. If he wants to attack Venusaur, that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to take care of that Dugtrio on this first turn. I'm actually just going to G-Max Wildfire, I think, on this turn. I think the consistent damage is worth it. And I'm going to go for the Energy Ball on the... Actually, I can afford to go for the Sludge Bomb on the Dugtrio because he's at 1 HP. And if he decides he wants to save that thing, then that's perfectly fine with me. We're going to Dynamax here. I don't think a Rock Slide is going to kill anyways. I don't think a Rock Slide is going to kill Charizard Dynamaxed anyways, especially with the Max Dynamax Candy. And this is definitely going to kill Gardevoir, unless it protects. But I would imagine this thing's not going to. Venusaur should easily outspeed the Dugtrio here and pick up the KO here. He actually goes for the Sucker Punch, which is a weird play, not going to lie. But we do pick up the KO on Dugtrio, so he's 2 in the hole. And he's about to be 3 in the hole. whenever this Charizard comes out and takes the attack off here. We're going to go for the G-Max Wildfire. That is going to do all of Gardevoir's HP. So this thing, this thing's absolutely a beast, man. Charizard just coming in, taking names. The first game is already over pretty much because we have T-Tar in the back as well, and that pretty much handles anything on my opponent's team. He's actually got Pincurchin at the end anyways, so this thing's an interesting pick because I don't really know what it does. I've never really known what Pincurchin does. I've never really gone against one before except in singles, and it was very, very bulky. And just set up for Hawlucha pretty much. But we have Earth Power on Venusaur for pretty much this exact reason, for grounded electric types. He's going to go for the Dynamax, which is fine. This is going to be a really bulky Dynamax, but I don't think it's going to really dent Charizard at all. If anything, I think it's going to help me. So we'll see what this thing wants to do. I've never seen a Dynamax Pincurchin before, so this is quite interesting. We go for the Earth Power here. That does over half of its HP, so I'm thinking we might just KO. This thing is obviously not properly EV trained. Cool little thing though. I mean, Destiny Bond was a cool tech, but I mean, this dude really didn't stand a chance as we take the win. Pincurchin doesn't even get to take a single move off here, and that's going to be a nice 3-0 for us. Tyranitar didn't even have to come out, which is super awesome. So we take the first win here, and O'Neal, good games, no problems. We'll see what we got here. I actually do want to check this dude's team real quick. So he's got Vespiquen here with the leftovers, plus special defense, minus speed. Interesting. He actually has no attacking moves on this Mon, which is fine. I do think Vikavolt would have been a better Mon to bring in that game, but that's fine. Gardevoir here, I do want to check to see what you are. You're an Electric Seed with Telepathy, so I don't really know why you're running Electric Seed. This thing would have been a really great Mon to bring, but he's not Scarfed, so that's fine. He's Rocky Helmet Pincurchin, honestly, or actually, so he's not even Max Dynamax Candied, which is a big no-no. And it looks like he's kind of offensive. He's got Scald and Discharge. Oh well. I like looking at some of these early teams here. We're almost out of beginner tier. That's the goal for this episode, is to get out of beginner, because I'm tired of being in beginner. Opposing trainer has been found. It is going to be a whole bunch of Korean characters ranked at number 2. So let's see what this dude's rocking here. He's got a cool team. He's got some Trick Room options, which I think we need to be careful of. He's got that Rhyperior, which I think is really, really cool. He's got Tyranitar, which is a cool addition. He's got Gastrodon, but the Shuckle and the Riolu really, really throw me off. I feel like if he's gonna bring mods, it's gonna be hard Trick Room with Rune, Rhyperior, Shuckle, and Tyranitar, but I couldn't tell you. In actuality, I really like leading Torkoal and Venusaur. Excuse me, my phone is going crazy right now. There we go. I fixed that up. I like leading Torkoal and Venusaur because they do play off of each other very, very well. And then looking at my opponent's team, I think I need to bring Char, and I think Tyranitar is my last one. Just because I feel like those are just... I think that's a pretty solid core with this team. I feel like you're not really going to bring Dusclops unless you want to run Dusclops T-Tar lead, which I think is a perfectly fine lead. I have absolutely no problem with it. But at the same time, I don't feel like that's something that needs to be run pretty much every single time you go into a game. I think it's very matchup dependent. But we'll see what this dude wants to lead here. He's going to lead Riolu and Runerigus. Runerigus, I guess, if you say. So we're gonna lead these homies here. And since we're in the drought, Venusaur is definitely powered up, man. I'm not gonna Dynamax Venusaur, even though it would be a pretty good play, all things considered, just because I want to Dynamax Charizard later in the game, since that's kind of like its big draw. And I'm just gonna go for the Eruption. We'll see what this thing wants to do here. He could try to set up Trick Room, but I've got a feeling he's probably not going to be able to. So it looks like he's actually going to Dynamax. I think that might be the Riolu, which is really interesting. No, he actually Dynamaxes the Rune. Interesting. This thing's normally support, so it's kind of interesting to see this thing Dynamax. We'll see what happens here. He's going to go for the Max Guard, or the Max Guard. I said the Mac Guard, but he's going to go for the Max Guard. And it said that connection was lost. I think that's probably on his end. I do not believe that's on my end, but we'll see if it counts it as a win or a loss for us. It looks like he's Trick Room Riolu. It's really quite interesting, not going to lie. I honestly want to know how he just got that off. Because Trick Room normally has to wait until the very last move of the game. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I don't know what happens there. I don't know if he left or if I got disconnected or what it was. It looks like he left. That looks like it was. That looks like that's what it was. Yes, he left. So that's fine. Counts as a win for us. And let's get in to the next battle. We're going against Big Nugget, rank 2 of beginner tier. Let's see what this dude's rocking here. Oh, I really like this dude's team. He's got 2 possible Gigantamaxes here with Lapras and Colossal, and both of them are pretty big threats. Although I feel like just the normal lead is very, very good here. I don't feel like he has really anything that he can do against this lead, and I feel like it makes a lot of sense. Although I could see where you would want to bring Tyranitar in this game, but I don't feel like it's needed ultimately. I think Torkoal and Charizard is just the best lead here just to go for. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Torkoal, Charizard with the Venusaur. And I think I'm going to bring... Yeah, I think I'm going to bring Togekiss in the back this time, just because it's a fairy flying type that helps with, like, Conkeldurr. It helps with, whatever that thing is called, Liepard, maybe? I think it's called Liepard. Helps with that kind of stuff. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see. This looks like our first, like, real person we've gone against. We have the same card. We're from the same game. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. This could be really interesting. Or it could be really sad. Liepard Colossal is actually his lead, which is honestly concerning, but I feel like switching Charizard out is probably my better play here. And going into maybe like the Venusaur here, I think is probably my best play, so that's exactly what I'm going to go for. Yeah, I'm going to go Venusaur here. We'll see what this thing wants to do to us. I'm going to just go for the straight Earth Power into Colossal, because this is going to do a lot of damage whether he Dynamaxes or he doesn't. And we are, what's it called, sashed. So we're going to live any attack from these two, because Liepard is very much so a fake out user, and I don't think he's going to fake. I think he's going to fake out the Charizard if he fakes something out. which is perfectly fine to me. He's going to go for the fake out, and he actually does hit the Torkoal, so good play on his part. He goes for the Ancient Power. Ooh, that's scary. Don't get the boost, don't get the boost, don't get the boost. Okay, he doesn't get the boost, which is perfectly fine. We go for an Earth Power right here, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Let's see what they want to do here. I don't know what my best play is with Torkoal. I kind of want to just Eruption, because we're not going to be outspeeding anything, and I'm really not too worried about it. Earth Power comes off. That should KO. It doesn't. It only barely misses out on the KO, but Torkoal should be able to clean up. He goes for the Thunder Wave onto the Venusaur. A little bit too late because we already pretty much damaged what we needed to get damage on. He goes for the Earth Power into the Torkoal. That is not going to KO. And I think Torkoal isn't going to pick up on the KO now. That is... should have gone for Heat Wave. Should have gone for Heat Wave. Dang. Dang, dang, dang. Dang, 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 dang. I'm going to go for the Earth Power here. I think I just misplayed that very, very badly, and that is my fault. I think I might have just lost the game because of that misplay. I don't know, though. Colossal, I don't really think has kill power at this point. I think he could go for the KO on Torkoal, but he would then get KO'd by Venusaur, so... He's got an interesting play here, but I don't feel like we've lost the game quite yet. Plus, we still have defensive Togekiss in the back, which is also going to be a pretty big help. He goes for the Overheat. Interesting play. It's definitely going to KO the Venusaur here, which is honestly fine with me, because you're going down this turn for sure. To the Torkoal, he goes for the Foul Play. Does that KO? It does not. We live on 1. Heat Wave comes off here. What? Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. See ya. Love you too. Sorry, things were going crazy. I'll probably just... I don't know. Things were going crazy in my house, so I'll be right back. We have to do a double switch here, which is honestly... or just a single switch here, which is honestly fine. Lapras comes out here, which is cool. And we send out the Charizard. So it's not looking like this game is going to be the best. I made a bad misplay, and that's my bad. But you live and you learn. You live, you learn. I'm going to go for the max. I'm just going to go for the max Wildfire here into the Lapras slot, because I feel like we can probably pick up a KO. And I'm going to go just for the Earth Power into the Colossal, assuming Colossal doesn't pick up the KO on us this turn. So we're going to Dynamax here. We'll see what this dude wants to do. I'm really surprised that he didn't Dynamax earlier. But Colossal realistically isn't going to be doing much damage because of the special attack drop, so we can live any one hit that it wants to go for. And we get up our Wildfire, which is going to be very beneficial for us for the rest of this game. He's going to Dynamax as well. I wonder if he Dynamaxes the Lapras or if he Dynamaxes the Colossal. Looks like he's going to Dynamax the Lapras. And it is G-Max Lapras. So this is something that we definitely need to be careful of. G-Max Resonance is very, very hard to fight back against. Colossal goes for the Ancient Power. That does way more than I'd like it to, considering that he is way in the hole when it comes to that. We're going to go for the G-Max Wildfire here on the Lapras. That's going to do about half, which actually isn't that bad at all. As Max Geyser comes off here, and probably into the Charizard, as they're just trying to take that thing out in one shot. But it is not going to go down that easily. I think Max Guarding on is the best play on the next turn. He actually gets a crit, so that's unfortunate. Sun goes away. which also is not great. Earth Power comes off here, does kill the Colossal, so right now we're looking at a 2v3 whenever it comes to it. And I'm going to invalidate the next Lapras turn of Dynamax. It invalidates mine as well, but I have things that can beat Lapras, so I'm not too terribly worried. He sends out Conk, which is scary, but I think is his best play for sure. I'm going to go for the Max Guard here into the Char, and I'm going to go for the Yawn into the Lapras slot because I want to see if they let me get that off. I don't know what Conkeldurr is going to go for. He could go for a Fake Out or a Mach Punch and KO the Torkoal, but I don't know if that's his best play because I very well could save that thing and get Sun Up later. So I don't feel like that's his best play. Max Guarding here, though, is definitely my best play because that allows me to basically invalidate 2 turns if they go for a Rock Slide here. Conkeldurr does go for the Mach Punch into the Torkoal, so good play on his part. Don't know how useful that's going to be, though. So he goes for the Max Lightning. Good play on my behalf to invalidate that. So we can go into Togekiss now, and we can see what this thing wants to do. Go for the Max Airstream here, and go for the Dazzling Gleam, I think, is my best play. I think Dazzling Gleam is my best play. We'll see what happens. This game's going to be close. This game's going to come down to the wire. We get the Max Airstream off. That is definitely going to kill Conk. This game's going to be close, though. It all depends on this turn right here. It all depends on who this Lapras attacks. I think we win, period. He's got a berry. Goes for the G-Max Resonance. Who do you hit? Togekiss. That doesn't KO. Oh boy, this is going to be close. This is going to be very, very close. Wildfire comes off. I protect with Charizard this turn. Do I? Okay, I'll tell you what I do. I go for the Heat Wave. No, I don't. I go for the Blast Burn. Communication was interrupted again. Are you kidding me? Did we get another forfeit here without pressing the forfeit button? I don't think that game was over, but I think we had a good end game to win it. I do think we had a good end game, but there was a lot. It didn't even count as my win. Are you kidding me, bro? Because I was definitely going to win that game. Like, definitely going to win that game. Let's check to see what this dude's rocking. He's got a very, very, very Sun team here, which is fine. I do as well. So, I don't really know what he's going to be rocking on his team. But I think my Sun is better than his Sun. I actually don't know if that's true. But I actually feel like, you know what? I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it. I am going to run it. I'm going to run the Trick Room. I'm going to run the Trick Room on this team because I feel like Trick Room is the best play because he has a lot of speed control in this team. He probably has Tailwind Whimsicott. He's got all kinds of stuff, so I really feel like running Trick Room this turn is going to be my best play overall. I'm not really sure what this dude's going to lead. It looks like he is very, very sun-centered, and he can't do anything other than sun. But he could be counting on the fact that I bring a sun user, and I do bring a sun user, but at the end of the day, he's not for sun. He's just there. So we'll see what this dude wants to do. So he's going to lead Arcanine and Whimsicott. Okay, interesting lead here. We're going to lead the Dusclops and the T-Tar. I'm honestly a big fan of Trick Rooming, like, straight up on the first turn here. I think Trick Room, we find Focus Sash and Assault Vest on the Incineroar, so that's good to know, good to note. I'm going to go for the Trick Room, and I'm going to go for the Dynamax and go for the, I think Rockfall is probably my best play into the Arcanine slot. I'm not really bothered by Whimsicott, but best case scenario would be I get to Dynamax here, they go for a high horsepower into my Tyranitar, and I get the weakness policy proc. That would be best case scenario for me. I don't know if that's how it's going to happen, but that's how I'd want it to happen. I want them to either go for a Moonblast or a high horsepower into my Dynamaxed T-Tar, because we can tank pretty much any of those hits. If they don't, then that's a good play. But he does actually just go for the Moonblast. He procs our weakness policy, which is awesome. And a close combat comes off. That's not going to KO, though. You're going to have to try harder than that, bud. You're going to have to try harder than that. We get off the max Rockfall. Adios. Boom. That's going to KO for sure. And we get up Trick Room right here, which is awesome. And we are in a really good spot. Trick Room goes up. Boom shakalaka. And there we go. Good turn. I mean, excellent turn. Santa's going to break the Focus Sash, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring T-Tar as the lead, because I knew this thing was going to be sashed, because it's always sashed. He brings in the Cherrim here. Interesting play, in my opinion. I'm going to go for the Ally Switch here. And I'm going to go for the Max Rockfall into the Cherrim, man. I'm just going to hit this thing hard. And I think I am going to hit it hard. I think this thing's probably going to lose about 70%, if not just straight up die. And we get to move first. So ultimately, I do really like what we've been able to do with T-Tar here. We go for the Ally Switch here, which means that T-Tar's probably not going to die this turn, which is awesome. Sunny Day comes out from the Cherrim, which is fine. It gets rid of the sand, but the sand's already done what I needed it to do. Flower Gift comes out here, and that's going to make Cherrim get all fuzzy and fun. We're going to go for the Max Rockfall onto it, though, and we'll see what it wants to do, if it lives, even. And it does not. So, Tyranitar coming in clutch. Sandstorm kicks up. Beautiful. We'll see what happens here on this turn. There's a number of things that I think are very much possible in happening. Honestly, Charizard was not what I expected, and I think we just win this game straight up, if I'm being completely honest with you. I'm not going to go for the Ally Switch this turn, and maybe they'll attack the Dusclops again, expecting me to do it again. But this game's pretty much over already. We had a really good lead. Yeah, he can G-Max Charizard, but it's not going to do anything at the end of the day, simply because Tyranitar outspeeds in Trick Room, and we just one-shot with Max Rockfall, especially in the sand. So this thing's definitely going down in one shot. We'll see what he wants to do, though. We go for the Nightshade, which is exactly the play that we needed to go for. Cuts him down to about half. Max Rockfall comes off here. Boom. That's going to KO the Charizard. Adios. And this game is pretty much over. Hopefully this dude just doesn't turn off his switch like the last two have, and he actually forfeits, so I get to go up in rank. Goes for the Moon Blast here into the Dusclops slot. So I'm playing this dude like a fiddle. I have not switched out any of my mons the entire game so far. Trick Room is also still not up, or is still up, so no matter what happens, we take a win on this game. So good game to my opponent, man. We just led off really well, and we were able to capitalize on that just straight up. Nightshade comes off here. That's going to not kill it, but get very close. Rock Slide comes off, and that... Oh, we miss, so that's fine. Goodbye. Well, that's a GG to my opponent because we KO here with another Nightshade, or we can bring in Torkoal and pick up the KO there. They also just died to one more turn of sand, so that's perfectly fine with me. We go Torkoal, and we say GG's to this man. Trick Room does expire here, but that once again does not matter, especially bringing off the sand. I mean, that's really not going to matter at all. But we 100% win this game now. Good games to my opponent. He had an interesting way of going about things, but we do take the win here with the Nightshade coming off. That was a relatively quick game. I really think I've played to my strengths of this team, being able to show its dual capabilities, being able to be both a Trick Room team and a Sun team. I think is really good. So let's see. No, I don't want to check. Oops, pressed yes. I don't want to check. Let's quit battling for a little bit. I'm going to go to ranked battles and see what we are looking like here. Let's see what our rank is looking like. We are in Pokeball tier, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. 30 BP coming into my pocket. We are 4 wins and 0 losses in Pokeball tier finally. I hope you guys did enjoy this first episode of Road to Masterball tier. I know I did. I'm going to have a ton of fun doing this, and in every single episode, we're going to be featuring a different team, which means I need to be doing some playing off camera so that not like in this, but in Showdown, so I can get used to some of these teams before I come in and play them, and I can let you guys know how these teams are being played. This was a really fun team to use. If you want to use it, a screenshot of the team code will be in the description below, so be sure to go and use this team if you would like to. It was a very fun team, very effective, and I hope you guys did enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next episode coming on Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow with some Showdown Show Out. Peace.